Hey everyone, this is John Gallant. I recently picked up an Autonomous SmartDesk and transformed my office from this to this. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how I assembled my SmartDesk, and then we're going to look at various shots of what the new setup looks like. I want to start off by just saying how impressed I am with how Autonomous packaged this desk. The quality of everything is top notch. This walnut top looks amazing. I'm super happy with my black stand. Everything was just a really good first experience right out of the box. Now I'm going to take you through step by step everything I had to do to assemble this desk. This is just a shot of the stand hardware. Just wanted to get you a nice up close look at this. Now the first step what I have you do is separate the underlying part of the frame. And they say to separate it to the size of the desk, but it's kind of hard to know what the exact size should be. So what I recommend you do here is just loosen up these bolts, open it up a little bit, kind of get it in the general range of what you think will be the longest point, and just kind of tighten them a little bit from there. Now we're going to drop that same frame piece over each of the legs. The reason why we do that is because the cable there goes underneath that frame piece. Now we're just going to screw in those 4 bolts and do the other side. And here's a shot of the frames attached to the legs. Now let's move on to the next step. Now we're going to attach the feet to the legs with these 4 bolts. And then we're going to do the other side. Here's a quick shot of the desk as it is after that step, with the legs and the feet attached. We have flipped over the stand, and now we are going to attach the arms to the stand with these 2 bolts, and then we're going to do the other side. And here's what the desk looks like with the arms and legs all attached. Now we're going to plug in all the little rubber feet that go in between the frame and the top. There are 12 of these. They can be a little bit tricky to get in there just right, so you want to take your time and make sure that they've gone through and that they're fully seated into each hole. Here's what it looks like with all the rubber feet attached. For this next step, get some help to get the top on your floor with the screw holes facing up. Then get some help to flip the frame around and set it on the top. Do your best to align the holes. As you can see here, I am loosening up the bolts that we started with at the very beginning of this assembly because we need to do some fine-tune adjustments to the placement of all the holes that are going to be screwed into the top. This can be a little bit tricky, and the little tiny rubber feet that we put in will kind of get wrapped up inside of the frame. So you have to make sure that all the rubber feet are still seated correctly and all the holes are lined up. This is probably the most important step, so make sure that this is done with care and just take your time. You'll notice here that I grabbed a tape measure, and that's just to make sure that those 4 bolts on each side have enough of that metal pipe to latch onto. And so what I did is I just said, okay, that first hole on this side would be about 9 inches from the side, and this one's gonna be about 9 inches. So I just lined up each of the ends to be 9 inches, and then tightened down those bolts. And then once I was 100% sure that all the holes were lined up, I started to drill in all of the screws to attach the top to the stand. Now with this, you want to use a pretty low torque drill so that you don't strip any of the wood. Just take your time, go slow, put a little bit of pressure on them. And just make sure that you take care, because you don't want to be splitting the desk, you don't want to be stripping the wood, anything like that. Just take your time. And here's what the desk looks like with all the screws and the top connected to the stand. All right, now we're going to connect the power adapter to the underside of the desk. 2 simple screws. Again, take your time on this one. Here's a shot of the desk with the power adapter attached. Now, let's attach the control panel. It's just 2 simple screws. Just make sure you line it up correctly and make sure you take your time on this. Now here's a shot with the control panel and the power adapter. Now just go ahead with the cable ties from the various cables. Then just go ahead and plug all the cables into the power adapter. It doesn't really matter which cable goes into which side, just plug them in, they'll both work in either one. Now we're going to use some of those zip ties that were included with the desk to attach all the cables to the underside of the top. Now we're just going to attach the power cable to the power adapter. Now we're going to get some help to very carefully flip the desk back around and then plug it into the outlet. To start the programming sequence, we're going to hold down the 2 arrow buttons for a few seconds. And we're just going to play with the buttons a bit, see it go up and down. My first impression was that the up and down movement is extremely smooth and very stable. To program your presets, you're going to want to hold down the M button until the numbers flash, and then hit the number that you want to associate that level with. Raise it up, hold down the M button until it blinks, and then hit the other number that you want to set it to. And then you can have fun going back and forth between those 2 settings. Here's the desk going up to the high setting and then all the way back down to the lowest setting. And before we do the big reveal of the new setup, I just wanted to remind you what I started with. This is a disaster. And I am totally embarrassed, but it is what it is. And I got motivated to fix it. The new sit-stand desk totally helped me do it, and I'm much happier. I'm able to be much more creative in my new space. And don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. I know that I can have some better cable management, but given where I came from, it's a huge improvement. Now, for the LED light behind the desk, I had an LED strip, a NeoPixel LED strip in my garage. I had an Arduino. I found a 5-volt power adapter. I just figured it out, got it all wired up, set it to a light blue, taped the LED strip to the back of the desk. You know, I may do a different video on that, but that to me adds a nice glow, and I just like having that around. So when my office is pitch black, there's this nice LED glow around the desk. So I've been using the new desk for a while now, and I've been bringing it up and down regularly. And as I do, nothing on the desk really moves. And I have some figurines, I have my lights, I have my desktop, the 3 super heavy monitors, and just super stable. All right, well, this was a super fun project for me, and I'm so glad that you watched this video. I hope it helps you assemble your desk and maybe inspires you to, up the game for your home office. And if you do want to see the LED video or any more details on this video, just leave a comment, like, sub, just let me know that you like this kind of stuff. Thanks for watching and have a great day.